Welcome to Wholesale Hotline, where we cover everything to do with wholesale real estate. I'm Jamil Damji.
I'm Brent Daniels.
And I am Pace Morby.
And together we cover the most important parts of wholesale real estate.
Lead generation.
Conversion of sellers into contracts.
And dispositions. Guys, remember when you're watching this show, do us a favor and squad up in the comments.
Make sure that you are liking and subscribing to the YouTube channels and in the Facebook group Wholesale Hotline.
Most important, we want to know we're doing a great job for you and helping you build your business. So go give us a review on iTunes and or Spotify.
So squad up and enjoy the show.
Welcome to Wholesale Hotline number 236. And the boys are back in town.
Boys are back in town.
Boom, boom.
It's hard to left out not being there with you guys.
Yeah, Jerry, what's up, man? Come on.
Next Monday.
You'll be here next Monday. Next Monday we'll have
all of us
here. Pace, how would you like to celebrate that? The fact that all four of us will be in one location at the same time.
We should order a taco truck and fill up this parking lot with 500 people and have everybody come out here with tank tops because it's going to be 105 degrees and celebrate. And then we should do a reintroduction of the Wholesale Hotline podcast with 500 people in the background saying Wholesale Hotline as loud as they can.
I think that's exactly what we should do. So if you're tuning in right now and you want to participate, book your flight and get out to Phoenix for the Wholesale Hotline 4-guy reunion.
How many people can you fit in there, Brent?
Yeah,
I mean, Jesse Burrell used to be in here. That's a couple hundred at least.
Yeah.
We used to remember those meetups we used to run in here like 4 years ago before you bought the building.
Yeah.
And then you've had people, you probably had a good 150,
we'll
200
open the
people.
doors.
Yeah.
What's up, man?
Parking lots.
Wow.
Yo, what up, bro?
Matty
So
J.
what we'll do is we'll open up the parking lot. We'll let people network while we're doing the show. Have a taco truck. I'll pay for the whole thing. You guys come out, have a good time. Christy says, "Where is it at?" Christy, it's in Phoenix, Arizona.
Yep.
And it's on 28th Street or 24th Street.
24th Street in Thomas, 2800 North 24th Street. We'll make sure to post it on our socials next week. And we'll rock and roll. Guys,
go to whereispace.com.
Mm-hmm.
We always post where I'll be. So go to whereispace.com. We'll put it on there with the address, the specifics, all that kind of stuff.
Guys, after today's show, we will have done 21,240 minutes of this podcast.
Wow.
Whoa.
Wow.
I woke up this morning and said, man, why do I feel so lazy?
21,000 minutes plus. Isn't that wild?
21,000 minutes.
Brent,
4.5
have
years.
you ever missed one, Brent? Like a week?
Oh, I missed a few, maybe 4 or 5.
No, but I mean, like canceled it. Like nobody covered it.
Yeah, we did. We had COVID. COVID hit. We decided to pause an episode. We had another national emergency. We paused an episode. There was some of the riots that were going on back then. We paused it. So we've only missed, I think, 2 episodes for national emergencies.
In like 4 or 5 years.
4.5 years. Yep.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome.
So guys, it's all here. If you guys are looking to go back into the archives and cherry pick certain things that you're working on, it's all there. It has to be there.
100%.
21,000 hours worth.
What haven't we discussed on Wholesale Hotline that would be relevant to your real estate business? I can't imagine there's a thing that we haven't covered. What do you think?
Lots of stuff not relevant.
What have we missed, Pace?
I think that there was a point in time 4 years ago that I really miss and I get all teary-eyed about was the live calls.
Yep.
Oh,
we could do that tonight if you guys wanted to. We could bring people up on the backstage and let them come in here. But
I think it'd be great.
I think it'd be cool every couple of months or once a quarter or whatever to bring in, let the live audience come up and we pick them apart for 15 minutes to do some hot seats. Other than that, I think we've covered every topic. But do you give everybody the exact same game plan, Brent Daniels?
Nope.
There you go. So I think that giving us the ability to hot seat some people, give them 15 minutes on a hot seat and give them a detailed plan based on who they are, where they are in the country, their budget, their experience level, those types of things. I think that could be something that we could do that we've never really done before.
Yeah.
Also,
Okay.
also, because the four of us are so active, the game is changing all the time. So what we're doing today is different than what we did 6 months ago or a year ago. And so this
Jerry,
shows-
can I tell you something crazy that's going to blow your hair off?
Let's hear it.
Talked to Steve Trang, did Steve Trang's podcast last week. They had a meetup, Chris Iman's meetup. The real estate commissioner was there speaking on it. Absolutely loves wholesaling.
The Arizona commissioner.
Yes.
Wow.
Loves wholesaling, loves assignments, third generation Arizona real estate investor. She's like, I don't know how I was elected this, you know what I mean? And absolutely loves it. Hates people that put memorandums on properties and don't release it, and hates people that make offers that they can't close. That's the biggest gripes. But I thought it was really interesting because Jerry and I have a lot of conversations about where are assignments going? Where is the whole wholesaling industry going? What's going to happen with people that are just starting out? They have no budget. They're trying to really understand the process of doing a real estate deal. And wholesaling is the first step. Wholesaling is the foundation. And I thought that was really interesting, Jerry. That so pro wholesaling, but just against all the shenanigans that's happening. And she said, don't screw it up.
Yeah. Well,
That's literally what she said.
Don't
you need to go out and you need to get the bad actors and you need to get them out of here.
Yeah.
Don't screw it up.
That's good.
I want to just highlight for people the reality of how much is actually under fire. Jerry, if you would, because you're the most knowledgeable about this, how many markets have some form of legislation? Let's count that. Is it like 10?
More than that. Yeah. I would say there's probably 15 to 20 states already that have some form of regulation. And there's probably 5 to 7 bills that I know of that are in legislation right now.
Okay. So, but if you look at that, right, how many actual markets are there? And if 15 of them have some form of legislation, but there's 52 states in this country. Yeah. And in each of those states, there could be multiple markets, right? In Texas, you've got a Houston market, Dallas market, San Antonio, Austin, all these different markets in there. In Arizona, we've got Tucson, we've got Northern Phoenix, we've got Northern Arizona, we've got Phoenix, of course. And so when you really boil it down, the percentage is like maybe 10%. Like maybe 10% of the entire market has something kind of going on with it. That still leaves a blue ocean. 90% of the markets have absolutely nothing going on in them that would cause you any trouble. Now take it one step further. How many markets have actually banned wholesaling? One. Is it one? Would you say 2 with Pennsylvania?
I mean, it'd be South Carolina's pretty strict, and the new Pennsylvania one is pretty messed up. But
okay. 2.
It doesn't ban it, but it's pretty whack.
2. So with 150 major markets in the United States, 2 of them have restrictive legislation. So let's not get too over our heels on this.
By the way,
I think it's important to watch, and I think it's important to educate people on the right way to do it.
It is, but
that's the point.
It's also not to, because how many times have you gotten a DM? How many times have you gotten a DM? How many times have you gotten a DM from somebody who's using that as a reason not to take action? Because they're like, why should I go and learn this thing about wholesaling when it's going to be a dying industry anyways?
Yeah, I face that a lot.
Right.
Have you guys heard much about the regulation coming in Texas for seller financing?
Yes. The Texas 100, it's a group of 15 friends of mine that have been lobbying against the Texas government for about 15 years. They updated me on the whole thing.
Yeah.
What's the deal?
I'll let Jerry talk about it.
Yeah, it impacts. It doesn't actually impact that many people because it's basically for investors that are selling to homeowners. So it would be basically wraps, I guess, or seller finance deals.
They want you to have those people qualified. Is that the thing they want you to go through?
No, what they're doing is
LO?
Right now, Dodd-Frank says once you do 3 or more in a year, you have to have a mortgage officer underwrite the loan.
Yeah. You have to have an RMLO. You pay like $500. They'll underwrite the person. Dodd-Frank states 4, but most of the people that are individuals, what they'll do is they'll do 4 wraps in one LLC, and then they'll go to another LLC and they'll do 4 more wraps if they want to get around an RMLO. But that whole thing, which we could get in the weeds about this, the whole thing about RMLOs, you should be using an RMLO regardless.
Anyway,
regardless.
But the new regulation though changes the game entirely, because what they're saying is if you're the seller, then you now have to get a mortgage license as the principal of the. So you can't just hire it out. Now you have to be licensed, and their licensing is way more strict than a real estate license. So it's a lot of fun, and there's ways around it. So just for the wholesalers out there, Jamil and I launched a title company called Creative Title and Escrow. If you guys ever want to open up a file anywhere in the country, cash, creative finance, what have you, we are open in 43 states right now. Just email molly@pacemorby.com. 50% of the files that we have opened this month are wholesale contracts in South Carolina.
Wow.
Because we have an attorney on staff that knows how to do creative finance with our wholesale contracts. So if you guys are out there wholesaling in South Carolina, of course, we don't call it wholesaling, but we know how to structure the paperwork properly. And we have already opened up 5 wholesale contracts this month, just in the first couple of weeks, just in South Carolina. So there's always a way around everything. I think Pennsylvania is probably the one that is a little bit sticky with the way that people can cancel the contracts on you, but it's pretty cool. Like there's always a way around it. Wholesale is always going to be a thing. You just have to understand how to do it. You know, you don't want to drive on the wrong side of the road, essentially. By the way,
is it the installment? That's what people are going to wonder.
We don't call it the installment because that's an old strategy.
Right.
We have a new strategy. Just email molly@pacemorby.com. Open your files at our title company. We'll walk you through it.
Yeah.
You can do wholesale in South Carolina. We just don't call it that.
Yeah.
It's a form of creative finance. And we're going to call it the barbecue method because we're just cooking up deals over there. And we love South Carolina barbecue like crazy. So it's the barbecue method. And we'd be cooking up these laws like they.
Is it an assignment or not an assignment?
It's not an assignment.
Right.
That is correct. It's not an assignment. So before we get into this, I want to just let you guys know that I dropped something in the side chat. Allows you guys to click on the link. It says StreamYard.com/a bunch of letters. Now, what's going to happen? We already have 2 people behind the screen. Benjamin Koya, I believe is how you say your name. Benjamin Kala. Couple of other people behind the stage. We want you guys to come up on here and ask us some questions. We will be answering and paying attention to the side chat today for sure. So fill up the chat. We are watching it. However, tonight we're going to be doing some live Q&A. Somebody did ask earlier, where is Jerry in the world? Jerry is in paradise. It's called Kalispell, Montana. He owns half of a lake there. You guys can see the lake behind him. He owns 2 houses next to each other. The guy is kind of gangster, just so you guys know. You know, Jerry, this was honestly right here. James Kibbins is saying, thank you for the playlist. I get this comment every single day about those creative finance playlists we did a couple years ago.
Why does it say $1.99 in blue?
Because they paid us $1.99 to see his comment in a different color so he could see. We knew we would see it. Yeah, we made $1.99.
That's $2 spent right there, baby.
That's right, baby. We're bringing it. This is a great funnel.
Hey guys.
Yeah, I think $5 it turns it red or something. $20 it's green.
No.
Let's see all the colors, guys.
It all goes to Bobby's date fund, so it goes to Bobby. I think, right? Is that where it goes?
It goes to Bobby basically. Yeah. He buys new pegs.
That's it.
If we get like 10,000 of those, I'll be able to go to Costco this week.
I think you know this gentleman I'm about to bring on this stage, Jared Frankum.
Jared, what's up, man?
Out of Lubbock.
TTP student, sub-2 student, also just married a very, very beautiful woman.
Congratulations, brother.
He sent me
Thank
photos.
you.
Yeah, super proud of you. Where are you what third world country are you in today, brother?
I'm in Brazil right now.
Oh, that's not third world. That's like first world, bro. What are you talking about?
It's second world.
Is it?
Yeah.
You guys have internet over there. You don't have to crank your modem like every time you use it?
No, don't not crank the modem, no.
You know, Jared started out in Lubbock, Texas as a TTPer.
Right. Yep.
He then left to North Carolina, and he kept saying, when are you guys going to come to Lubbock? When are you going to come to Lubbock? You guys do all these meetups all over the country, but you don't come to Lubbock. The second he left,
you go to Lubbock.
I went to Lubbock and I bought a big apartment building there for $0 down. So thank you for encouraging me to buy in Lubbock. It's a cool town.
I'm so glad you did, Pace. That was so cool.
It's a great market, man. Tell us what you've been working on. Tell us about your business.
So it's a lot different these days. Texting used to be my big bread and butter, not as much anymore, obviously. And so it's all cold calling. I want to say I'm super stoked because all the business that I've been doing since the last 5 years has enabled me to live here in Brazil, and my investments totally fund my being able to live here. So it's super, super exciting. But I'm digging back in heavy cold calling and closing deals this way.
What took you out to Brazil?
A beautiful brunette.
Of course.
My now wife, we're married 3 weeks.
Is your wife a Brazilian woman?
She is.
Oh,
she
she's
is.
gotta be beautiful. They're the most,
Brent-
the most beautiful people in the world out there.
Jamil's asking if your wife has any friends.
Plenty of friends.
Or a
Plenty of friends.
sister.
She's got a twin sister.
Get out of here,
Come
for
on.
real.
His girl's a 10, bro. And she's
I'll
into,
see you next week.
They're into wholesalers. Bring her to Jared. Bring her to the meetup here next week, Monday.
That's right.
If I could, the reason I'm in Brazil, actually, I've been trying for 3 years to bring her to America, and it's impossible. We've been declined 4
Bro, it's not
separate
that hard.
occasions.
Just walk across the Mexico
Hey,
border. It's not that hard.
I have a referral for you.
Okay, send it to me.
So I experienced the same thing when I was engaged, a long time ago, and my wife, although is Canadian, it's the same thing, and we were denied twice. And this attorney is very, very, very good and very inexpensive, and so I'll make a connection for you, Jared.
Jared's rich,
I
bro.
would love that.
He just dropped 20 grand on batch leads.
He loves it.
Send me
28.
send me a DM, and
Somebody did.
I'll give you a phone number, and maybe they'll be able to help you out, bro.
Okay, I'll send you a DM.
Everybody in the TTP and Sub2 communities, please reach out to Jared. He's a great leader, good person to do JV deals. What's your market that you're working in right now, brother?
Lubbock. Lubbock's my market. I'm totally cool being a big fish in a small pond.
I love it. Send me
King shit at Turd Island.
Yeah, I love that.
Love it.
Hey, Jared, do you have any questions for us today, or did you want to just say you love us? Because we love you too.
I just want to say I love you. You had posted the link in the chat, and I just immediately clicked on it, and here we go.
I love it. Jared, you're amazing. Hang with us for a couple of minutes, okay?
Got it.
All right. James Kibbins. Great questions. He says, I'm in Chicago. Will the sample contracts work for wholesale deals, or will I need attorney, or will title cover any other contracts needed? Okay, James and everybody else. Your title company and your closing attorney, their job is not to supply you with contracts. They are not a legal representative of you. So you need to get either A, the contracts from one of our communities, B, a transaction coordinator, or C, go hire your own attorney to draft up your documents. James, by the nature of your question, I assume you are not in any one of our communities. Otherwise, you would have these contracts and you would be able to skip dealing with it. Think about the years and years that all four of us have been in the business. Okay. Jerry Norton has been in this business probably longer than any of us, then Brent, then Jamil, then myself. I'm the baby in the group. Okay.
I think Jamil's got me by a year.
Okay.
A year? Yeah.
Collectively,
It's been a long time for you,
I would
bro.
say collectively, we
Four?
probably have 50 years combined. 50 years of 4 different people talking to attorneys and then aggregating that information into quality contracts. We have amazing contracts. However, there's something that is very important about Chicago. You cannot wholesale in Chicago more than one time without a real estate license.
Yep.
And so smartest thing for you to do, James, is to pair up with somebody in our community. Nita Patel is a gangster. Nita Patel frequently is in the side chat, and she wholesales frequently in Chicago. She door knocks pre-foreclosures, and she's a badass. So I would definitely network with her and collaborate with her. If you want to skip out on getting a license, just become partners with somebody who is licensed. Hopefully that was a good $5 answer to your $5 contribution to Jamil's
Chicken Wing Fund.
Chicken Wing Fund. Let's get somebody else up here. Benjamin Shotkala, Colla. How do we pronounce that, Shotkala?
It's like the drink Coca-Cola.
Cola.
Oh, cola. Okay, cool. I love it.
What's up, Benjamin?
Benjamin, what do
Nothing
you got
much.
for us today? How can we help you? You got Jerry Norton, one of my mentors, on the screen. You might as well ask the man a question.
Oh my God, Jerry Norton. Let me just tell you, like I learned in January, I got my real estate license last year in the summer.
Our
And
condolences.
I dropped out of college. I was like, forget college. You know, I see the vision and I trust the process. And so I got my real estate license and then joined LPT Realty. Worst mistake ever, in my opinion. Wasted a bunch of time. And then I met my broker, Joseph Stern, Big Guava Realty. And then he's kind of been my mentor ever since. But Jerry Norton, you taught me from January through March. I just learned. I just kept learning and learning and learning.
Good for you.
And then from there, last month, I just closed 4 lots in Northport. And I have 2 contracts in Charlotte County right now. And then I have, hopefully today, we just sent the contract. We're just waiting on signatures. But yeah, my mentor and Jerry Norton, oh my God, been the biggest help ever.
Just so you know, Jerry Norton has a lot more to teach you than just 2 months worth of information. I've been following this guy for 10 years. I watch him every day. My wife and I, when we take a shower together, we listen to Jerry Norton's podcast. So in the shower, this guy, less clothes, the better. There's less barrier between the information in your brain.
Is that what does it for you guys?
That's
you listen to a little bit
100%.
of Jerry Norton and you get in the mood? Is that
It's actually on a TV screen too.
I'm not joking you, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not joking you. My wife comes in. She comes in the other day.
Do you guys have a special nickname for him? Like, let's watch Sudsy or something?
She calls him Harry Jerry. Okay, so she comes into from the garage the other day. She's got 3 kids in tow, right? She's got 3 kids. She's just a gangster. And she comes in and she's got Jerry Norton on her phone. And I'm like, why are you talking to Jerry? Like, we're in a family group chat between the Nortons and the Morbys. Sure. And it's one of my favorite text chats. And I'm like, did Jerry call you for something? She's like, no, I'm listening to Jerry's seller calls. And I'm like, you know, your husband's like kind of a closer too. Like, you could listen to my calls. And so I don't know how I feel about it, but I've been trying really hard to like get my wife's attention. Hopefully she's listening right now. But Jerry, I truly do listen to him naked more often than I listen to him clothed. We love Jerry Norton. So, Mr. Cola. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Do you got a question for us today? You got freaking Jerry Norton, Brent Daniels, another one of my mentors, and Jamil Damji, who helped me get my first 100 deals without me having to comp a single property. The greatest wholesalers in the game are on the screen right now, and I'm the guy controlling the computer. So what would you like to ask these guys?
All right. I want to talk about systems and how you leverage your systems to bring.
Okay, we're not talking about systems today. Just kidding. I'm just kidding, bro. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
So how have systems helped you guys in this game, and how much have you leveraged your systems?
How much, Benjamin? How much did you make on those lots you sold?
I made it was a $20,000 commission, so
Come
I made
on.
roughly about 10K.
Let's go, baby.
Boom.
A little pat on the back.
Well, my other bell broke. I keep breaking these things. Benjamin, are you doing this full-time, part-time? What does your schedule look like, bud?
All right, so it's been full time since like 2 months ago. Life happens, and one thing that I heard about a business guy named Christian Jamal, his story said, just bring more leads in your pipeline, something along those lines.
Yep.
So, and texting is my bread and butter. That's all I do. And then from there, I'll call them and then make the offer. And then, I confirm with my broker, Joe Stern. And yeah, that's pretty much how I've been doing it. And it's gone to the point where I started to feel more comfortable in my deals. Oh, another question just popped up. When doing creative financing, how do you use balloons or
balloons are for clowns? Stop using them. Don't even bring up the word balloon to a seller or an agent. Don't ever bring up the word. They don't know what it is. And an agent might bring it up to you. And if that is the case, act like you're confused by what a balloon is and why somebody would use it. That's your first way to attack it. So let's get to your systems question. How important are systems? Jerry Norton, what do you got?
So here's what I got to say about that. If you look at wholesalers in the industry, I would say maybe Brent and Jamil, you got a better perspective on this, but I would say 80 to 90% of all active wholesalers, these are full-time wholesalers, are solo operators.
Yep.
So not very good systems. They run around transacting. They work really hard, and their income's fairly capped at around 250,000. That's the majority of our industry. And the only way that you break out of that is systems. There's no other way around it. You've got to build a team. You've got to have systems and processes. That's how you go from a solo operator to a business, a legit business. It's the only way you can hit $1 million a year and beyond is systems. Like that's the thing that will allow you to become a legit real business. That's how important it is.
I would say that out of everybody on this screen, Jamil has the best systems, followed by Brent. But they're two completely different animals.
Yeah.
Like they're not, you almost can't even compare them.
I think what's great about them is that they're so different from each other, because it's like Brent runs the really lean team, no partners. He can pivot very fast.
A lot of marketing.
Whereas I'm, as you know, a lot of overhead, 3 partners,
no marketing
money. So it's a completely different beast. Yeah.
Yeah. Very different beast.
They're
So
both systems. They're both have systems.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
It depends on your model, though, I think is what you're getting to.
Yeah.
It depends on what you want to do, Benjamin. Do you want to do you want to sell a lot of other people's deals, or do you want to go direct to the seller yourself? You know what I mean? I think that there should be a distinction there. What do you think? Do you think that you try to do both, or would you pick one lane or the other?
I think specializing always is great, because you can become a master at something.
Yep.
If you look at Pace, right? Pace, he brought this up to me today earlier. He brought it up earlier in the show. He, on his first 100 deals, and even today he was like, I don't think I comp any houses.
Yep.
I just don't do that. That's not my thing.
Yep.
I relied on you to do that, and I rely on other people on my team to do that for me now. It's just not something that I need to do. Why?
Yeah.
Because the thing that he's really good at is connecting with people, finding out what their biggest issue is, and solving the problem so that he can get to the deal.
Love it.
Right? And so that, as a superpower, when he spends more time doing that thing, systems are what allow him to do that. Right? If he didn't have a system in place, for instance, a system doesn't need to be this big, robust thing. A system can be as simple as Pace texts address to Jamil and says buy number. That is a system.
You know what? I never asked you for a buy number. I just sent you the address.
Yeah. But I assumed, right? I assumed. And so that a system can be as simple as that, or it can be this long sequence, right? But at the end of the day, what a system will allow you to do is the following, right? It's going to allow you to make what you do replicatable, which is pretty important, which will then allow you to do scale, so more business. And once you replicate and you actually bring that scale in, you'll start to find efficiencies. You'll start to find places where you are inefficient and you can actually develop, and you'll find places where you're super efficient and you can do more of, right? And so, like, for instance, again, with Pace, he's so good with his sellers. He's so good belly to belly that anything that he could do in his life or in his business that puts him back in that room, instead of driving on the phone, doing this nonsense work, contracts, any of the things that for him are just like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to do that thing. I want to do the thing that I'm magical at. So find what you're magical at.
That's the greatest advice you could have given this guy, because, you, Jerry, myself, and Brent all have such incredibly different systems based on our personality types rather than a technical answer. And so, Mr. Cola, Mr. Cola, yes, Benjamin, what are you uniquely good at? Are you good at negotiating? Are you good at in-person appointments? I knew 10 years ago, I would write down, where do I make all my money? And it was always in the living room or on the phone with an actual seller. And it wasn't cold calling. Just FYI, Jared Frankham. I realized for me, that's for me. Jared might be a different situation. Jerry, different situation. Brent has acquisition guys that go out and go on appointments. And Brent is way more high-level strategic. I'm addicted to being in the living room. And so I knew everything I had to do required me leveraging either A, partners, or B, collaborators like Brent, like Jamil, like Jerry. Hey, Brent, can I use your land guy to sell a deal for me? Hey, Brent, will you help me do X, Y, and Z and underwrite this specific thing that your team is really good at? Hey, Jamil, can you give me a buy number so I know exactly what to buy this for? follow up, everything else was done and outsourced to somebody else. And not always does it cost you money, right? Now, I left money on the table. No, hold on. This is great. Did I leave money on the table by letting you make money on my deals?
I don't think so.
I know I did not, because I could do 10 deals in a month with you, and let's say you made 50 grand on all those deals.
Yeah.
If I had to deal with the disposition, which is a whole other business, I probably would have done 6 deals a month.
Right.
And so leveraging your systems is actually a form of systems, Mr. Cola.
There's also, I think, listen, it depends on the systems part, right? When I hear systems, I think, Benjamin, you're thinking about hiring somebody and getting fancy CRMs. And I will tell you, you will completely be out of this business in 6 months. And I'm not saying that like as just to be aggressive. Nothing kills more ambitious, smart, stars in their eyes, real estate investors when they are starting out wholesaling than trying to delegate too soon. You're not at that chapter. Trying to have automated systems do all your lead follow-up and your lead generation. It's too soon, and it's not going to be effective for you. And flips. Those are the two things that destroy people that are starting out in this business. Flips and trying to have too many systems set up. Bro, you should be on the phone all day long. You should be calling people all day long. You should be having conversations and making offers all day long. Before you do not hire anybody, don't even get a CRM until you have $200,000 after taxes sitting in your business checking account.
I could.
That was my question.
That's one of the most best piece of advice. I went on my Instagram stories the other day and I said, your CRM is a waste of your time. This is a waste of your time. This is a waste of your time. This is a waste of your time. Sales, and you have to ask yourself this question. If you don't know the answer to this, you have a problem. Where is my next dollar coming from in my business? Right? That's the number one question you should wake up and think. What I see a lot of new people do is, this is a word that I heard from Brent a couple of years ago. It's called creative avoidance.
Yep.
I think systems to a certain degree, when you're very, very beginning, can cripple you. And the only system you need is the heaviest object on planet Earth, which is an iPhone.
True.
Okay. It's the heaviest thing to ever lift. I have a feeling that Brent's going to bring us a prop over here. He's got a good one for us. By the way, I'm going to pull you off the screen because we love you. We appreciate you, Mr. Coca-Cola.
This is my CRM.
Benjamin.
It held all my leads until I made $1 million wholesaling. I swear to you. I had one of these that had January through December, and I had one that had 1 through 31, the days of the month. And if it was, what's today? What's today's date? 13, 14?
None of us know.
You pull it out, the leads that you have from that day, and you call them and you set appointments. That's it.
Our answer is it's almost October. Mr.
Great question, though, brother.
Benjamin Cola.
Yes, sir.
I can tell you all 4 people on this screen have different systems.
Yeah.
I learned stuff from all 3 of these guys, which is why they're all 3 my mentors. Look, why? Dang it. Why is there somebody that's doing the thing to my wife? I was like, oh, my wife's on here today. And if it's got to be
being the weirdo.
It's the weirdo.
Yeah, every time.
Okay. So if I'm starting, guys, sorry, James is donating to Bobby Canode's pegging fund. Okay. So if I'm starting with $0, how do I make a deal happen if I don't have the contracts? Leverage a PML? Do I have to double close or subto a deal in shy to get away from the wholesale problem? James, JV joint venture with Nita Patel or one of 1,000 subto community members in Chicago, my friend. Okay. There, you don't need money. You don't need the contracts. I'm sorry to tell you, somebody else has the contracts. You don't need to worry about them. Go leverage and bring value to that person. There's a $10 answer for
It's the 16th.
Who knows?
It's the 16th.
Who knows? All right, here we go. We're going to go to Howard Wildy. This is going to go. Howard, you better have a question for Mr. TTP on this one.
What's up?
Hi, everybody. I actually did have a quick question for Brent. He did kind of answer it on the last one, but it's so my acquisitions company, I'm now doing about like 1 deal a month. I'm at about 3 months consistent. And awesome. I want to know like about scaling because right now I have 2 dialers. I'm doing about 750 calls a day. And it's like, when should I start adding to that? Or should I wait till I'm at like 6 to 12 months of consistency to like really start adding more and more to my team? Because I know my overhead is going to grow with that. because it's getting a little higher right now with the CRMs as well, because you guys touched on that as well.
Who's making your calls?
2 callers I hired off of Upwork that I trained for like a week.
Okay, awesome. And the deals are in what market?
Jacksonville, Florida.
And how much did you make per deal?
10,000, and I'm closing a one on Wednesday for 10,000 as well.
Come on.
Boom.
Go.
I just sent a
what's
reduction
your
email as
overhead?
well.
What's your cost on that?
$1,200
Okay.
per month.
Awesome.
And I just sent a reduction email. I spent 2 hours on the phone with the seller, like before I got on here, for a 5K reductions. And she said she's going to talk to her husband about it. So I might get that reduction for Wednesday as well. But that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. I'm trying to average that. So that's kind of my question. Like, well, when should I scale, or should I just like keep waiting until it's stable? You know,
Are you
did
the closer?
answer this question, but you need to say it again for the people in the back.
yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I mean, listen, I
Don't
love
be
that
sorry.
that you're having success with your callers. That's fantastic. Are they who's your closer? Who's getting the leads? Who's the acquisition specialist?
Well, okay. So I'm sorry.
Is it you?
Yeah. I do everything. They just give me the leads. If they say somebody says yes, they want to hear an offer, I take over from there. That's all.
And you're closing them over the phone?
Yes, sir.
Pour some gasoline on it, bro.
Yeah.
Pour some gasoline. If you could close, that's
close.
it. That's the
I can
skill.
close.
You know what I mean? You just need more shots at it. So you're going to have to, and then as you add more volume to it, really tighten down the way that they pre-qualify those leads. And hopefully it's based on the timeline. Like, are they ready to make the decision now? And just get more quality into your funnel so that you're talking to people all day long, making offers. It's fantastic.
Yeah, actually, I'm studying.
But stay in that seat until you have 200,000. Because I'll tell you, you hired the wrong person in that seat for closing.
Yeah.
And
it's done.
You're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried to do that multiple times. I did not get out of the driver's seat going on appointments for probably 3 years.
Yeah.
And 1, it was because I was hiring the wrong people. 2, I tried to do it a little bit too fast. And honestly, I made way more money. You'll make 30% more money per deal, and you'll close 30% more often when you're in person. And so I had a hard time getting out of that. When I went virtual, same kind of thing. I was trying to scale way too fast. You have to stay in acquisitions for probably 6 months while you train your next acquisition person. You can't just be like, all right, I trained an acquisition person and then dump it on them. They should be an addition to what you are closing. So let's say in 3 months, you're closing 3 deals a month.
Okay.
You then are probably okay to start training an acquisition person, but you should still be doing 3 deals a month for 6 months until that person starts picking up the slack. Howard Wildly,
Yes, sir.
you're the man.
Can I
Thank you,
I
sir.
ask Jerry a question before we get the next guest on? Because
Yeah.
I think that this is something that keeps popping up all the time, and it keeps nagging me. It's like in the back of my mind all the time, and then it's coming up in conversation. Jerry, let's say you're starting out, you're building momentum in your business, you're finding good deals, you're wholesaling some. At what point do you buy rentals?
In my opinion, no,
Yes.
this is just my opinion.
Yes.
Not until you have your fast money, your printing press dialed in, producing income consistently every month before you should start thinking about doing that. That's my opinion.
What if you're a solopreneur?
Same thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So consistency. So it's all about consistency. I look at money that comes in fast, medium speed, and slow speed. Slow speed would be PML, rentals, any kind of cash flow type of income. And I think you should really have that fast speed money coming in consistently before you take that on, because you have to be able to weather through those other types of money, right? So fix and flips are 6 months, sometimes longer. And if you don't have money coming in every month, then it can create a real problem. You mentioned flips is the fastest way to wreck a wholesaling business.
Yes.
Why is that? It's because you take on a flip, and then what you're doing is you're diverting your energy away from that wholesale income. And then you're going 6 months with no money because you got 5 flips you're doing, and it can crash and burn. You can crash and burn doing that.
Yep.
So
Can I be contrarian here?
Yeah. I love it.
I agree with you, but we have to identify that there are different avatars out there. Okay. So you've got a lot of, I met a girl at Clever Summit, and my keynote was talking about how everybody needs somebody to look them in the eyes, get to know them, and give them unique, detailed one-on-one information in order for you to have a game plan. You can't read it from a book. You can't listen to a podcast. This is why getting a live question is so valuable for people, is because we could actually listen to your tone, understand who you are, understand your demeanor, your personality, etc. I meet this girl. She walks out in the hallway after my keynote, and she comes up and she goes, I need you to give me a one-on-one. I'm wholesaling. I go, you should not be wholesaling. And she goes, you don't know anything about me. I go, yeah, I do. You're an Indian girl. So that means you're probably a doctor, an engineer, or you're a lawyer. And you probably have $500,000 sitting in the bank. And she goes, I'm a lawyer and I have $500,000 sitting in the bank.
Yeah.
I said, is your family going to be okay you quitting your lawyer job? She goes, no, I make $400,000 a year. I'm like, then why would you ever wholesale?
No, that doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make any sense. She goes, well, because I thought everybody says that's the easiest way to get started. I go, you're at a point where you're making $400,000 a year and you have 3 days off a week. You have Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You are at a point where you have active income coming in that is stable and you have $500,000 in the bank. You should just be buying deals from other people. Don't go build teams. Don't go build a wholesale business. It requires way more effort than what you're planning on doing. I said, if you got your wholesale business to making you $200,000 a year, are you going to quit your lawyer job? She goes, no, I'm never going to quit my lawyer job. I'm a partner.
Yeah.
I'm like, then what are you doing? So guys, remember, they're talking specifically to wholesalers who are doing it in order to pay your monthly bills, not wholesalers that are doing it as like, hey, I have a really great job. I'm not quitting. I'll give you another good example. I have a girl in the subto community. Her name is Yatang. Yatang makes $25,000 a month working 2 days a week as a programmer. She has all the time in the world. So she has 2 days a week she wholesales as a side hustle. She's like, I just want to make an extra $15,000 a month. Is that girl okay to start making wholesale or to buy rentals? Absolutely. What Brent is saying so well, and Jerry is putting a stamp of approval on, is if you're struggling to pay your bills and trying to build your wholesale business so that you can have that active income, fixing and flipping is not a business. It's a side hustle and it's not a guarantee. It is a scary endeavor to jump into. I don't know one fix and flipper that can legitimately come to me and convince me that it is a stable and consistent business. Wholesaling can be a very stable and consistent business through up, downs, lefts, and rights of the economy. Doesn't matter what's going on. Wholesaling works. Rentals does have risk associated with it. So once you get your active income on point, then jump into buying and holding. But it doesn't have to be a wholesale business, my friends.
Yep.
Okay. Because there are people in here that I know. Okay, there is a bunch of people in here in the side chat that do not wholesale, but buy deals from me or buy deals from other people. If you already have your active income, just be aware Brent and Jerry are not talking about you.
No.
They're talking to people that are like Mr. Cola that we were just talking to, that is obviously still putting his pennies together, building his teams, and he's wholesaling to make an income.
Yeah. People starting out that don't have that active, the big active income or are trying to replace their active income by being a real estate entrepreneur.
Correct.
That's what I'm talking about.
And if you're also contemplating like, I hate my 9-to-5 job and wholesaling is my way out of that, I think all four of us have definitely quit our 9-to-5 jobs because of wholesaling. So it's definitely not just possible. It's like everybody I know has been able to do that. But as you're making that transition and you're stabilizing into the business, you should not be buying rentals either until you have that stabilized income. Great. Really, 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 really great point. Let's bring up, we got some people in the backstage that don't know how to turn their cameras on, guys. So if you guys are in the backstage and you don't have your camera on, Luis Naranjo, you are not going to be called on. Okay. We're going to be calling on David. David, I must ask you a question, bro. What question do you have for Jerry Norton today?
My question is, at what point should I be hiring a cold caller? I still haven't got my first deal, but I do have some money to invest into. Yeah.
Do you need a cold caller to do deals, Jamil Damji?
No, you don't. And the reality is the concept or the idea of hiring a cold caller is because it's something you maybe have a little bit of fear of possibly doing yourself, or you want that grunt work to be taken on by another individual, which I get. And again, the reality is even if you hire somebody, you have to sit in that seat. You have to know what it is. I have done every job in my company, every job, from the paperwork to the agent outreach to calling sellers, to every part of that organization. I've done all of the jobs. And I think once you have a really, really steady stream of deals and a pipeline built, you can start to look at it and say, okay, now could be a good time for me to bring somebody in. Brent says you should have at least 6 months before you start looking at hiring people. Mm-hmm. And so, I have seen many people crash and burn because they come in and they create this big expense for themselves right out the gate, and they can't sustain it because they're expecting that person is going to produce volume, and they're going to produce deals for you. They're going to produce income. And sometimes they are going to take time to ramp up. In addition to that, what if they're not good and you just spend a whole bunch of money on nothing? So I think the reality is it's time for you to do the job. Do the job until you have some consistency, a pipeline built up, some money in the bank. Brent says 6 months. I think that's fair. I would say 90 days if you're being a little risky, but 6 months is perfect. Then start looking at outsourcing that.
I would say, to answer that question, I would say cold calling's okay. Like, you should get a deal there. That's not a bad way to go. It's pretty inexpensive method, especially if you're doing the calling. I just don't think that that's the best way to get your first deal. I would actually switch strategies and do on market. I'd go to agent. You're going to get way further traction. It's not going to cost you anything. You still got to put in just as much time as you do cold calling, but you're going to build relationships. Those relationships are going to pay off in time. And you're talking to sellers that already want to sell. You've already got past step one, which is, do you want to sell your house? Yes. In most cases, if you're calling on listed properties, they already want to sell. Every call you have is going to be a very valuable call because you're laying the groundwork with those agents. And one of those agents is going to call you back next month with a deal. I just think if you have to choose, now you might not have to choose, maybe you can do multiple things, but if you have to choose, if you were to ask me for my first deal, should I do cold calling or direct to agent? I would say direct to agent is going to get you to your first deal much faster than cold calling. Mm-hmm.
There's actually a lot of different ways to get your first deal that's not cold calling, right? Mm-hmm. Think about, how about a joint venture with other people? Mm-hmm. What if you just find buyers for people? Astro Flipping, right? That's what Jamil did with the first 100 deals him and I did together. Guys, the other thing you have to identify is there's a lot of ways to identify a deal as well. And what happens is people identify a deal as, I go knock on the door, I negotiate with the seller, I do the paperwork, I go all the way through the thing, I find the buyer. That's what people think is a deal. If I had to go do a deal right now, I'd just go into like the Creative Finance with Pace Morby Facebook group and co-wholesale a deal. I'd JV with another person. I'd go find the buyer. I'd do what Jamil did. If I had a limited time frame and I need a deal right now, there are active deals right now ready to go. In fact, here, I'll give you something to do right now. Go on Keegley.com. Go to the drop-down menu of properties. There's probably 200 properties that are already contracted on there, and go, I'm going to make it a goal that I'm going to go sell one of these deals to a fix and flipper in my market, and I'm going to get my first deal that way. You don't have to cold call anybody. And the people that you do cold call, which are the buyers, they are welcoming that call. So the reason why cold calling is not working for you is because you probably don't like cold calling just like nobody else does, right? It's not that great. So it works, but it only works if you're willing to do the actual work. So write down there's probably 20 different ways for you to go get a deal without you actually calling the agent or calling the seller. And we should do a show on that entire topic. Like, here are the 20 ways for you to get a deal. And I hear people, guys, this is for everybody in the side chat. You saying, I have not done a deal is not the words you should be using. You should say, I have not done the work required to get a deal. Okay. That's what you should be saying. Your ego will protect you from saying it, but that's really what I hear when I hear somebody say that. And when you backstep even further into that of like, why have you not done the work? It's because you're misidentifying what a deal is, and you think it requires you to cold call. Is cold calling effective? Hell yeah. Super effective. Is it gangster? Yes. Do a lot of people do it and scale it? Absolutely. Okay. YL, for example, asked this really great question. He says, is there a different strategy besides calling the seller? Seller called me instead. That's where I started. I used to write $20,000 checks every single month. Brent and I have a friend, actually all four of us have a friend named Doug Hopkins who write a check for $500,000 a month.
This guy's up
I'm
at
cruising.
300.
No, 100.
Brent's spending 100.
Okay.
Yeah.
In order to scale past certain points, you have to have sellers calling you if you want to do 10, 15, 20 deals a month. You just have to if you are direct to seller. Jamil spends no money on marketing and his office probably does 30 deals. The problem with all of this, Mr. Mustache, okay, is that there are so many different ways to win. And you need to identify. Can I tell you what I would do if I were you?
Yeah.
I would say pace. Can you give me like a 30-minute one-on-one and identify my personality? I can already identify your personality right now, David. I already know exactly what you should do. If I had 30 minutes, I could give you a detailed game plan specific to your personality, your resource level, your economic situation, and your current mindset phase, because we all go through mindset phases. And then you can get a detailed game plan. That game plan is not just cold call, because if that was going to work for you, you would have already done it. That's not conducive for your current layers of your personality, your economic situation, your mindset phases, etc. So I would give you a different game plan. The problem is there's too many ways to make money in real estate. And so you're having a hard time identifying. Why are you having a hard time identifying the strategy for you? Is because you don't know yourself as well as I know you, David. It's weird, but I know you better than you know yourself. And you've never spoken to me, correct?
Correct.
Here, do me a favor. DM me on Instagram, and I'll give you a 30-minute one-on-one, and I will detail you out such a clear plan for yourself. You'll cry at the end and want to send it to your mom.
Sounds good.
That's great.
Okay. And by the way, that mustache is rocking it, dog. Do you have a girlfriend?
Married.
Of course you are, bro. That's a married man mustache. I'm telling you, if you want to go from being single to 100% married, grow a mustache like that. He's
either married or a cop. That's a cop mustache.
Could be both.
Super troopers.
Yeah.
Super troopers, bro. Super troopers.
Great chatting.
Great chatting, bro. Really great question. Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay. Jared,
Joel, I have a mustache. Still single.
Okay, Michael the millionaire. You ready for this, brother? Here he goes. Michael, what's up, brother? How you doing?
What's happening, man? How everybody doing? Can you hear me?
Yes, but turn your phone
Can you hear
off,
me?
Michael. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, hold on. All right, there you go.
What do you got for us today, brother?
My question is, okay, I had a contract. Okay. I got a contract last week. Matter of fact, Jamil comped it for me, told me what number to get it at. I locked it up. Okay. Now we had a problem with, they didn't want to give up. They didn't want to put the house on the lockbox. Okay. They wanted somebody to be there at all times. Michael Moore got a chance to go out there. I think it was Friday. Take pictures and videos and everything, right? So we got the deal text and everything set up. We had somebody wanted to go out there Sunday. They couldn't get the scheduling together. Today we come to find out that the people that I got the contract with, the company that I got the contract with, didn't even have the contract with the seller. Okay. So I know my contract is null and void. Now I'm trying to find the seller, but the owner is a company name. It doesn't have a registered agent. It has a registered company. When I pulled it up in open corporate, it got a registered company. Okay. Now the company is here in Atlanta, but it still don't have a number to it. Should I just go door knock or what?
Is it occupied?
No, it's vacant.
And you got a
duplex.
It sounds like he's doing a JV deal, and the JV partner, the JV partner doesn't actually have the contract direct to seller. So at some point, did they have it and it fell out? Like, how did you know? Who are you?
Okay, what happened was
that tells you that they want somebody needs to be there for every showing.
Okay, that's how it was relayed to the realtor that brought it to me. When they brought it to me, okay, and I discussed it with them, I asked them about access. They said that you have to contact them to have access because the seller don't want to put a lockbox on it. They said because of squatters, but the seller didn't want to put a lockbox on it. Okay. Friday, we set up an appointment for Michael to get out there Friday morning. He got out there, walked it. He tried to discuss
Who opened
a
the door for
lockbox.
Michael Moore?
There was some guy that my realtor had to contact the realtor that brought it to her. Okay. And then they were, she said she think it was a property management company. Okay. But what happened was, like, after I got it locked up, I gave it to Keegley. Keegley wrote out a deal text, sent it out. Now today, whoever is in charge of it got the deal text from Keegley. Then they got to wondering because I got it under one price, Keegley got it at another price. Then they got to wondering, well, who actually holds the contract on it?
It doesn't
That's
sound
how
like
we come to
anybody
find.
does. It sounds like you don't
That's
have
how
a
we
deal,
come to
bro.
find out that. Okay.
You're just in the
Now, what I'm
you're in the
saying-
phases of any other property. You have a lead that's going to require you to continue to reach out and follow up. It's not a deal. It's not. I would not be classifying that as a contract. I wouldn't be sending that out to anybody because you're probably in a spot because your contract that you have, your JV contract's null and void. So I wouldn't be marketing that.
Why would they sell them a deal that they don't have under contract?
Yeah, people do goofy stuff.
That's through an agent too.
I mean, 'cause I do have a contract. I do have a contract
Yeah,
with
do.
a company.
You do. But whatever, is that a JV contract or you have a purchase contract, Michael?
I have a contract with the realtor. The realtor wrote up the contract for me.
Does the seller
The
have a
realtor.
signature on the contract?
It's a company name, just like it's in my company name. It's in their company name. Okay, but it's
is the
not.
contract where you're the buyer. Is the seller on that the actual person on title on the tax record? Is that the same company?
No, it's a company. No, but the house is registered to a company also, but it's not the same company that's on the title.
Is it the same company on your contract?
No.
Nope.
Double close.
Here's what I would say, Jamil. If there's an agent involved, that agent should not be signing a contract with somebody that's not the seller. The agent could be in trouble for that. So
Big time.
You need to go back to your agent and say, I thought I contracted with the seller of record. It doesn't seem like I contracted with the seller of record. What the heck's going on? And get your head around what's going on.
You don't think it's a double close, Jerry, or double escrow?
Not with a real estate agent. They wouldn't.
Yeah.
Why not?
The way I understand it is that the people that I contracted with didn't actually have a contract with the seller.
Well, that's
And for some reason, they contracted with me but didn't have a contract.
Then the only other thing that would make sense would be someone's trying to do a double closing with you, two purchase and sale agreements. And if that is the case, then the agent should be disclosing that to you. So I would go back to the agent and say, is this a double closing? Is this being resold to me and the seller's under contract with somebody else and now I'm under contract with that person? Like, you have to get your head around where you're at in the whole transaction. And the agent should disclose that all to you. There should be no reason why they don't disclose that to you.
And the agent would have seen that, Jerry, when they were.
Yeah, they would know. They would
drawing
have
that
to know.
contract up. They are very well aware that the tax record and the contracts that they sent you with the seller name don't line up. That they don't match, and so that would have been immediately identified. So have the conversation with the agent. I think that's right for you right now. That's the closest solution for you to get an understanding of what's going on here.
Agreed.
Okay, and if it turns out that I don't. Go ahead.
The dreads in your beard are dope.
I appreciate that. But if it turns out that I don't have a legal contract, like I said, the seller of record is a company. It's registered as a company. They don't have a phone number, but they got an address here in Atlanta. Should I just go knock on their door?
No, don't go knock on anybody's door. No, what you got to get your head around is this a double closing? Because if it's a double closing, then it's not that your contract isn't legit. You just need to understand what's going on. Right now, you don't know what's going on. So you're sort of like, all worked up over this, but it might be as simple as the seller contracted with somebody, that person recontracted with you, and you just need to understand who you're dealing with. That's all.
Agreed. Michael, the millionaire, you're the man, brother. Appreciate the question. Thank you so much. It sounds like there's just a little bit of some missing pieces to this. Before we get to the next question, I want to give a shout out to a pretty amazing person. Her name is Kelly Humbarger. Kelly Humbarger. She is a top tier TC, so she does transaction coordination. A year ago, she was living in a trailer, sharing a bed with her son, her boyfriend, etc. No air conditioning. Today, she is moving into her very first sub-2 deal, 4-bed, 2-bath house. She has a 3.1% interest rate. She got into the deal with not a dollar out of her pocket. Closing costs were covered. The down payment to the seller was covered. The first month's payment was covered. She is literally walking into this house with no monthly payment, utilities covered, all of it up front because of the way that she structured this deal.
She found the deal herself?
She found the deal herself. She raised the money from a private money lender. The private money lender covered her costs to get into the deal, her first month's payment, her utilities. She's moving into a house with not a dollar, not a penny out of her freaking pocket. Amazing. So congratulations, Kelly. We're super proud of you. Dreams do come true. She says to me the other day when I saw her, she goes, it still doesn't seem like it's real. Her family and everybody's like, that sounds like a scam. I'm like, you let them know after you make another baby in that house, whether it's a scam or not. All right. So congratulations, Kelly. We're super proud of you. By the way, guys, we love seeing all the names in the side chat. We got Gabby out of Detroit, one of the best meetups we've ever done on the planet. Was in Detroit. Detroit is amazing. It built one of the greatest real estate investors on the planet named Jerry Norton. Jerry, how was your St. Louis meetup this last week, bro?
It was fun. St. Louis, Oklahoma City. And I met Gabby in Detroit a couple weeks ago. So it was fun.
She's cool.
When I was out there. Yeah.
You've also met her at your house. I
met her there too.
Mm-hmm. By the way, Jerry, you have a challenge that is actively going on right now. I know day 1 was today. It's probably not too late to join. Is there any way I can join this challenge for day 2 tomorrow?
Sure, Pace. We'll let you. I'll make an exception just for you, Pace.
Okay. How do I get there?
No, anybody can still join it. If the challenge gets shut down after the 5 days is up, so you do want to get in there, you can watch the replays until it's over this weekend, and then we're taking it all down. If you go to flippingmastery.com/challenge, then you can register for the Facebook page for it.
Love it.
Sweet.
Yep.
Flippingmastery.com/challenge.
Yeah, what's it about?
What's
the challenge is your first deal. Get your first deal. And so for 5 days, we're showing exactly how to get your first deal.
Amazing. I love it. All right. Next question. Roberto, bro, what kind of freaking car is that? Is that a Barracuda?
Like a Challenger.
It's actually a 71 GTX, a Plymouth GTX.
Oh, 71 GTS. All right, cool. Just FYI, your audio is not picking up very good, even though our previous questions were super loud to the point where I almost had to turn the volume down. So I think your mic that is in front of your face is actually not selected for your computer. So if you want to switch that up, that'd be great. We'd love to freaking answer your question tonight.
There you go.
Better?
There you are.
Yeah, sure.
What do you got for us today, brother?
Well, I've been following you for a long time, cheering you on, and offering inclinations to feel amused. But I've been calling agents, and it took a long time for me to call the first agent. It was pretty scary.
Yep.
But now I really like talking to agents, and I really like talking. I love talking to agents. And I've had deals get to points where I'm learning as I go, and I have another offer to respond to, a counter offer, after I ask this question, if I get to it. That is, I celebrate excessive context.
What market are you working in?
I'm in Dallas Fort Worth.
Okay,
Awesome.
Can I connect you with somebody in Dallas Fort Worth that can help you out? Joining a team is probably a really good idea for you. Where you're at, you've got some momentum, but you keep probably running into some barricades. You keep running into some issues. You run into something that somebody says, and you kind of get stuck. I would connect with people like Don Walker out of DFW. Can I give you Don Walker's cell phone number?
You can. I am working also with I'm in Maximilian Deer's wholesalers Discord.
Okay, I don't know who that is.
RFP Homes.
No. But,
but
if you want somebody that's actually doing like deals that I know about, I don't know who that is. I'm sure they're super cool, but I don't know who they are.
Right.
So again, not attacking them. If somebody sends this to Maximilius Aurelius, I don't tell him that I was talking schmack. I just don't know him. I'm sure he's super cool. So Dawn Walker, let me give you a phone number of somebody I know is doing deals because I've actually done deals with her. And this last year, she's helped about 35 new people get their first deal. She's in the subto community. She'd be happy to help you. She's into really cool cars. So anybody that has a really cool car will make her happy. She'll help you out. Okay. Her phone number, by the way, I do have her permission to give this out. She's always helping a lot of people in our community. You know what? I'll give you her email. Okay. DMW. That's Dawn Mary Walker. DMW. propertyholdings@gmail.com. D as in Dawn, M as in Mary, W as Walker, propertyholdings@gmail.com. She will solve all your problems on your leads, my brother. That is your biggest problem. You got momentum, but you keep running into roadblocks. Let's go to a lady that I already know is prepared for her question. Kathleen Martins. I already know you're dialed in, Kathleen. Kathleen, what do you got for us?
Hi. Thanks for taking my question today. I have a possible deal and I need to raise $400,000 and I just wanted to know what should be my first move.
Okay, first move. Can I be self-promoting here for a second?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
Sure.
If you were in the subto community, raising $400,000 is like sneezing. Okay. Raising money is incredible. Hey, everybody in the subto community in this room, could you go raise $1 million in the next 30 days without even thinking about it? Voight, what do you guys think? Okay. That's your first key. You're not hanging out with people that have money. And what happens is there's a lot of people. I'll give you also a really cool gift today. Okay. Can you take down notes? You seem like you work as an administrator for somebody else's business. Is that correct?
Correct.
How good am I at identifying personality types? By the way,
has nothing to do with the jacket and the outfit.
I can't read it from here, sadly. But what does it say? Is it something about NASCAR?
Yeah, I wish.
Okay, so can you take down some notes for me? I want to spit
Absolutely.
some. Okay. First and foremost, subscribe to Flipping Mastery on YouTube. It's one of the greatest YouTube channels of all time. Okay, that's number one. Write that down.
Okay.
That's the one I listen to in the shower with my wife. Number two, the time to raise money for a deal is 6 months before you have the deal. Why is that? It's because private money lenders lend primarily off of relationships. And if you have a deal that you have, and so I'm still going to give you a way better answer than this, but I'm going to give you the answer that you need. And then I'm going to give you the answer you want. Okay. You need to be in a community of people rather than just watching stuff on YouTube, because you are somebody that's taking action and you're going to run into a lot of situations where you're going to need a lot of money. How do I know that you're a filtered, vetted person if you are not in a community? You're just on YouTube land. That's a problem for a lot of people. They're just like in YouTube land. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Raise money 6 months before you need it. Next thing I want you to write down is never buy a raising capital course or mentorship. It's a waste of your money. Okay. I've taken them all and I end up just teaching their classes for them because I know more than they do. Okay. Here's what I'll do for you. Go to pacesprivatemoneylenders.com. Every 2 weeks, I release about $15 million in real private money lenders, new ones, $15 million in private money lenders. The list that I'm going to release, I think I released actually 2 days ago, has 115 people on it, totaling $11.5 million. These are regular people like you and me. The average person has about $300,000 or $400,000. They will pick up the phone. They will text you. I will give them to you. Go to pacesprivatemoneylenders.com. Every 2 weeks, I update the list with another $15 million. How, you might ask? Because I am Jerry Norton's student. I follow him on flippingmastery.com. He has a raising private capital series on that freaking website, on his YouTube channel, that is fire. Okay. So I know how to raise private capital, and I will give my private money lenders away. Do you know why I give my private money lenders away?
Yeah, because you have the biggest heart in the world.
I do care more than anybody I know, but I don't need these particular private money lenders because I'm raising money for deals that require lenders to be involved in for 5 to 7 years. And the list of people that I'm giving you are people that are willing to put money into a deal for 6 to 36 months. And so these private money lenders I can no longer utilize, and I don't want these relationships to go to the wayside. And so I want to pass them on to you, because you are a badass that's running somebody else's business, and you should be running your own freaking business on your own because you are the bomb.
Thank you.
You're welcome. PacesPrivateMoneyLenders.com. Send me a private message. Send me a private message. I'll give you like 10 that I've never released to anybody. Okay.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much.
And by the way, can I tell you, you are somebody that would change my entire business around. I already know your personality type. If I'm launching a new business, I'm hiring you.
You're awesome. Thank you.
Am I wrong? You work for a lot of visionaries. You make a lot of things happen that come out of their brain and out of their stupid mouths, and you actually you make the rubber hit the pavement. Is that correct about your personality?
I am the neck that moves the head.
That is correct. I already know that about you. And I've only let you say about 20 words on here, and all it was an answer to my stupid questions. You shine bright. I want to let you know that your talents are being underutilized at whatever company you're working at, and you should be running your own stuff.
I will be someday.
Okay. I can feel the energy. We appreciate you. We're proud of you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
There's a comment at 6:52. Carson Walsh.
6:52?
Yeah, pull that up.
6:52. I don't know what that is.
PM.
5:52?
No, it's just back a minute. 6:52 p.m.
Oh, yeah.
On the timestamp.
Oh, 5:52.
Oh, maybe
our
you,
timestamp.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Go
5:52.
up.
Wow, that's way up there.
You guys will love Carson. So he's college kid, athlete, plays baseball, full-time college student, 21, doing about a deal a month. Just did a deal. I interviewed him on my channel. He did a for sale by owner Zillow wholesale for $40,000 assignment. $40,000 assignment.
Nice. There you go.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? Great kid. So Carson, I wanted to make sure you got some love.
I love that. Now, Carson says, my question is regarding taxes. I have very low costs and have made 6 figures this year. How should I be efficient in saving money on taxes? I was thinking possibly an S Corp. This is where I probably will differ than all 3 people on this stage. I buy rentals to primarily, you want to know the best way to make money? Keep more money. Mm-hmm. Okay. Some of y'all out there making 6 figures are paying 30% in taxes. I paid 0. I made millions and millions of dollars this last year and the year before and the year before. I have not paid a federal income dollar in over 7 years. Why? Because I have a portfolio and the IRS rewards me. So I make 30% more than somebody making the same amount of money as I do. I get to keep 30% more because I put that 30% into my rentals. Even if they don't cash flow, which they do, even if they don't cash flow, I did not pay the IRS. So rentals is the number one by far. Second best one, buy a plane, buy a car, buy a truck, buy a Tesla truck, buy something. Mm-hmm. Spend money on something if that's what you want to do. S Corps can only get you so far. You're still going to pay a significant amount of money in taxes. And get somebody on your side that knows what the heck your situation is, because Brent's situation is different than mine. Jamil's is different than his, and Jerry's is different than all 3 of ours combined, because homeboy lives in Puerto Rico and doesn't pay any taxes either. So that was a good strategy for him. You need somebody on your team. I would go to a CPA.
Yep.
And I have none that I would recommend because they all suck.
Also, Carson, you're going to go through this period where you're going to make a bunch of income before you can buy assets. And so, listen, you got a business partner. That's the rent you pay to live in this country, unless you have other people paying you rent for the properties you own. I mean, the government does not want to be a property manager. That's why they give you tax incentives if you own real estate and other items that you can depreciate. But there's going to be, you're just going to have to bite the bullet sometimes. Mm-hmm. I mean, until you get to that point where you're really rolling and buying assets. The one quicksand that I find a lot of entrepreneurs do is they go, oh, I'm going to just go spend 40 grand on this list provider, or I'm going to spend 40 grand on this whiz bang thing so that I don't pay taxes. Don't fall into that. Just pay the taxes, keep the money, and keep doing what you're doing because it's obviously working. And talk to a CPA for sure.
Yeah. Talk to a CPA. They're hard. CPAs are really challenging because the CPAs that you should hire won't pay attention to you. Why do I say that? Is because CPAs are very phase specific, meaning you get into a phase where you're making 200 grand a year. All their clients are making 200 grand a year. And you don't want to take advice from a CPA that manages clients making $200,000 a year. Right. And so you have to get into a realm of CPAs that are managing people who are making $2, $3, $4 million a year because they actually know the answers to your questions. You know what I should do? I'm going to bring my CPA and I'm going to do an in-person 2-day class for anybody that's in my community. I'm going to do it in my office. I'll do it in December. I'll do it for free and I'll release it. But I want my community members to be there in person. And I will school every CPA person on the planet of what good taxes actually look like. I will pay no money in taxes this year and have a $5 million loss carryover going into next year. I know a thing or two about taxes, more than most CPAs. I'll do it for free. And I'll do it in December. Come and hang out with me, Carson. If Jerry and Brent love you, then I'll give you a little bit of love. Come to my class and I'll bring, you'll be the one person in my class that's not a student of mine. Isaac Santana, I'm curious, what are your guys' highest areas of productivity that cost you the most not knowing? I am super curious. This is such a freaking great question. My answer, real quick, storytelling. I feel like I'm one of the better storytellers. I have a hard time listening to other people. They can't piece things together. They can't educate on a certain level. Playing field storytelling conveys in the living room. It conveys in your conversations with your wife. It conveys in everything. Raising capital, storytelling. Everybody is a human being, and all human beings are barbaric freaking people that used to live in caves and look at cave drawings in order to understand what the heck was going on with the world. Stories, stories, stories. Telling stories in order to close more deals, whatever that may be. Brent Daniels, I
don't understand the question.
He's saying
I got an 1110 on my SAT. I don't know what is
the highest area of productivity, which means
I feel like Isaac
what's
just
the
read
skill
a book
that
or something.
what's the skill that makes you the most money that if you didn't know, you'd be pissed off? What's the skill you are uniquely good at?
Oh, effectively using your tone of voice when communicating. For sure. For sure. Especially with strangers.
I did not expect that.
Yeah.
At all.
If I didn't know that, that would be tough.
Why have you not taught anything on this? I'll come to that.
Yeah.
Class.
I don't know. Yeah.
That's phenomenal.
No, I mean, it is. I think the ability to have people feel comfortable instantly with your tone of voice is a huge skill that everybody should be practicing and learning and working with. And I think it just all comes from a place of love, right? There's this great quote from so my trainer, Johnny, listens to some like manly podcast. And this guy, his whole tagline is easy to love, hard to kill. In anything, in business, in relationships, in friendships, in the way that you go about your life, easy to love, hard to kill. And I love that. I think that's really awesome. And I think that if you're easy to love and you have you communicate that and you have that confidence and the kindness, it really helps you out in business.
Jerry, what's yours?
You know, I was immediately thinking something similar to what Brent said. I would think it's just not being afraid to talk to people.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I think about like what makes me special, there's not much to it other than I'm willing to work and I'm not afraid to talk to people. If you're willing to work and not afraid to talk to people, I don't think there's anything you can't figure out in this business.
You're set.
The rest is just filling in the holes. Where people get tripped up is they're just afraid to talk to people and they're not willing to do it. They don't enjoy it. They don't find the fun in it, right? And so I just enjoy that so much, and I'm not afraid to talk to anybody.
Jamil.
Self-awareness.
I
think
that
you think this makes you more money?
100%.
Okay.
Because I'm not bullshitting myself.
Uh-huh.
If I can be 100% honest with myself on my skills, on where I need to develop, on things that I'm good at, on things that I'm not good at, on things where I could be much better, things where I'm great, so I can lean into those. Just having the reality check is incredibly important because I got an email today from somebody, right? And they said, "Man, what I've learned is incredible. I just didn't realize that it was going to take so much time." right?
Yeah.
And so I think you should just tell everybody how much time this is going to take. Okay, well, here's the reality, right? Today Pace and I were talking, and we were like, you could really do this business in 17 minutes a day.
Yeah.
If you have the right people to collaborate with, if you're using the right connections, if you're putting yourself in the right seat, you can do this with little time. So what was that actually? An excuse.
Yeah.
Creative avoidance.
Mm-hmm.
It was a way for somebody to say, not my fault, too much time. When I have Andy Wrong, who was chained, he was a 15-year-old in high school, okay, making $50,000 a month,
Yeah.
figuring out how he's going to be able to can continue to communicate with real estate agents while he's
In class.
right? The reality is that he didn't bullshit himself.
Yeah.
And so if you are ready to stop lying to you, then you will actually get pretty far.
So it's kind of like what Jerry just said in a lot of ways, right? It kind of ties back in. Like you just do the thing, stop lying to yourself, go do the work and gain the momentum. Like you're not afraid of talking to people.
I would have said your sense of humor, Jamil.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, that's worked.
Yeah.
It's helped me a lot.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm really obsessed with the blind spots.
Mm-hmm.
I'm obsessed with knowing more about where I have.
It's tough when you're young too.
Yeah.
It's tough when you're coming up as an entrepreneur. You're out there by yourself and you feel like, you could do anything, right? After you close a big deal or you did something great, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You hired somebody and it worked out. You did marketing and it worked out. And you're just like, I could build an app,
Mm-hmm.
I could buy millions of units of real estate. I can go and develop. I'm going to get some land and I'm going to develop this land and I'm going to build farms and all, right? There's so many other things that are that you feel like you could do. You've got all the confidence, but to have the self-awareness to go, this is my superpower. This is what I'm really good at business. I mean, it helps you to have direction.
Yeah.
And when you can focus and fall in love with the how boring business can be, that's when you make the money.
Yep.
When you get excited about something and you want to trumpet it and tell everybody and go, but it's probably going to bite you on the ass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
The boring stuff is the best.
Jared, this is a great question, bro. I had to bring you back up on the screen. He says, how much money is enough money? Jared, I know you. You're a special guy. You help a lot of people. At some point, it's not about the money at all. The money is just a measurement, I think, that you're on the right track. I got a voice memo this morning, 7 minutes long, from a girl named Rachel on my team. And she says, I've never felt so special. I've never had so much momentum in my life. I've never felt so good in a place that I don't even feel like I'm working. You have absolutely changed my life in a 180 because of this job I have. And if I thought, hey, you know what? 2019, I got enough money. 2017, I got enough money. There's people in my path. There's people in Jerry's path, people in Brent's path, people in Jamil's path, and people in your path, Jared, that sure pray to God every night that Jared never thinks enough money is enough money, because they need you to wear that heavy armor, that bravery, all those challenges you have to go through to provide opportunities for other people. There is somebody literally praying tonight that you keep going. They don't know that they're praying about you, but they're just saying, please, dear Heavenly Father, give me an opportunity. Please give me something. Please give me some momentum. Find somebody, all of those types of things. That is the most rewarding thing for a business owner, is that you can provide a paycheck to somebody else and change their life and give them an ecosystem and an ecosphere that they can thrive in. It stops being about you probably about a year from where you currently are right now. And I think in a lot of ways, I'm experiencing you, Jared, helping other people in multiple communities with your leadership. You're really close to you just realizing that 100% and going, what's the next level of Jared? What's the next level of leadership I can provide to the entire real estate community? Other people, that's not even something they think about for probably 3 or 4 years in the business. So
I think about it like this, Pace. Jared, this might be helpful. You're going to go through 3 phases. One is income. So you're going to focus on income. Then then lifestyle. Then you're going to focus on how that money can better your lifestyle. And hopefully you move through those 2 phases fairly quickly in life. And the third phase is impact. Right?
Yeah.
So income, lifestyle, impact, ILI. And when you hit impact, you've met all your needs. Your lifestyle is not going to change much. If you make another $1 million, you're probably going to still eat the same way you do and drive the same car you drive. It's not going to really move the needle for your lifestyle. But the only way to really have impact and impact in a big way is that income keeps growing so that it can then have that massive impact. And if you really think about impact in the world, is there really enough money for you to have a big enough impact? Probably not. You probably won't run out of money for the impact you could have in the world. So
Very true.
Just think about it from that perspective of what level you're at. And
That's
then the
huge.
money stops really mattering because now the money's not about you anymore. It's about others.
Yeah, it was interesting. Last year, Jamil, Jerry, and myself raised, I think, $600,000 in about 2-hour time frame for human trafficking. And I'm so grateful for the people that were at that event that did not stop making money, that were willing to spare $600,000 to go. Basically, what we figured out was that for every $5,000 that was raised, a kid was saved from human trafficking.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so you look at 120 kids were saved that night because somebody did not decide to give up on their income so that they could provide that impact. So really, Joel says that was really powerful last July. That was really cool to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And it was a room full of wholesalers and real estate investors and fix and flippers that were able to part with that capital. So,
but people wrote checks for 20 grand, 25 grand without even blinking. Right. Yeah. And so to have impact, that was all impact.
To people that they'll never meet either. And so, Jared, I met you when you were in TTP, still are in TTP, obviously. And you've always been a leader in my mind, bro. You got big things in your path. You got the momentum of a Rhino behind you, Mr. Brent Daniels. And if you understood something that I know I'm not allowed to say this on screen, so I'm not going to say it. But Brent is signing one of the biggest deals on the planet right now to take over something and change the entire real estate industry. And you're part of that. You're part of that legacy, Jared. You don't know it yet because you haven't seen what Brent has been working on behind the scenes, but he's about to impact probably 40,000 people a month at a very, very high level. Mm-hmm. And I'm super proud of him, and I'm so lucky to have him as my mentor. So, Jared, you got a lot of leadership ahead of you, brother. And you got a big torch that Brent is going to be passing down to you as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. Last week, Pace came over here to my lake house just out of the blue, and him and I are sitting in the rocking chair right out here, just enjoying the lake. And we're talking, and this is why you have to have good friends like this, guys. Like you have to surround yourself with people that are doing amazing things. And I said to Pace, Pace, if you right now sold something or, exited one of your businesses or whatever, and you had $150 million in cash, what would you do? And this is the kind of conversation I get to have with guys like Pace. Like, this is why I know exactly what deal Brent's putting together that Pace is talking about, because Brent and I are having conversations about this. And Jamil and I have these kind of conversations. I just feel so blessed to have friends where you can have these type of conversations. And I said to Pace, Pace, if you had $150 million from selling something right now, the very first thing that I think you would think is, how do I turn this into $1 billion? Because the way Pace thinks, you guys, is he thinks $150 million, like whatever that will do for me, that's not really my concern. My concern would be, how do I multiply that? Because if I multiply it, then I know I'm having even bigger impact on the world. And when you're around people that think that way, then it can't help but rub off on you. And you start thinking on a whole nother level. You stop thinking about your bills and, how do you maybe the next car you get to drive. You stop thinking, that's way small thinking. You start thinking about impacting the world in a big way. And that's a special place to be at.
Yeah, it's cool.
Money is the receipt of value.
Yes. Oh, that's
right.
It's a good one. Write that one down. Money is a receipt of value.
If you are around people that have earned that, you learn so much. You learn so much about the way that they think. You learn so much about the way that they view the world. You learn so much about why did they do that. And most of the times they're freaking weird. it's just weird. It's just a weird brain. It's a weird, exciting person to be around that is in that 100 million, 200 million, 300 million. You know what I mean? And because there's no stop, I think. You know what I mean? I think that it just kind of keeps pushing, and that could destroy you, or that could just keep allowing you to have a tremendous amount of impact. You know what I mean? But you got to be around people doing amazing things that get a lot
Yes.
of receipts. You know what I mean?
And another way to
A lot
say
of
that
receipts of value.
Another way to say, I mean, you get paid in direct proportion to the problems you solve or the value you bring. Want to make more money, solve bigger problems, or provide more value. That's it.
Yep.
You guys want to do one last 30-second question?
Yep.
With Crown Banda. Crown, is that your real name?
Yes, that is.
That's sick.
Awesome.
Crown Banda. All right, dude. I love that name. What do you got for us tonight? We are already past time, but we're going to go really, really quick with you.
All right, perfect. Well, I just need some feedback on what to do right now. I've been learning for about 2 years now, and I'm stuck in this loop of just learning. I'm also in New York, so it's hard for me to start in my backyard.
Bro, that's the best market to start in.
Good.
So how do I start if it's an attorney state? Like, I don't get it. A lot of people say don't start in New York. Then, I dibbled and dabbled in too many different places to where I don't know where to start. But I have the platform set, the LLC, the business bank account, the systems that I know to create. I just have no idea, like, where to start right now. I also have a 9-to-5 job, so.
Oh, perfect. Then you got plenty of time, bro. 9 to 5. Are you kidding me? All
It's
of us
actually
entrepreneurs literally
7:30
work
to
3
3:30.
times as much as that. That's light.
Yeah.
For us in the entrepreneur world, we call that a part-time job, just FYI.
Okay. So how many hours would
a
I
9
need
to 5 job
get?
is what we call a side hustle. Where do you start? Let me answer a couple questions for you real quick. Brent, Jamil, Jerry might have an answer for you separate. Number one, you need somebody else. You've been trying to obviously do this on your own. You're watching YouTube, you're reading books, you're doing all the things, you're in free challenges. You need somebody else. And you need to get around those people as quickly as possible. Squat up with other people. You have literally 500-600 people that have been in the side chat tonight, and a bunch of them are in New York doing deals, by the way. Okay. Jamil and I will be in New York pretty soon. I will be in New York probably, I think, November 3rd. I'm doing a big meetup in Central Park. Every time I do a meetup in Central Park, we bring out probably 800 or 900 people. It gets crazy. They have like the horse police officers that come out and yell at us. You will meet probably 400 people out of that 800 that are actively doing deals, either A, in New York or New Jersey, or B, they are virtually doing deals in other places. New York is one of the greatest markets. Why? Because you can work your 9-to-5 job, and when you get off at 5 o'clock in the afternoon or 6 o'clock in the afternoon, it's only 3 o'clock in Vegas, in freaking Arizona. You got the cheat code, bro.
You get to hack the time zone.
You get to hack the time zone, bro. You're part of the freaking multiverse, man. You are, what's that wizard's name? What's his name?
Gandalf.
Yeah, no. What's the guy on Marvel? He does the thing with the wrist thing, and he makes Doctor Strange, bro. You're Doctor Strange. You can time.
Call him Harry
Dumbledore.
Harry Potter.
You can hack the time matrix, bro, and you can do deals anywhere in the country because of your time zone. You have the cheat code. So, it's interesting. The thought process of New York is hard, but then when Jamil drops this time zone bomb on you, you nodded your head and you just had a paradigm shift.
Yeah,
and you just realized that New York is the greatest place to live and do virtual wholesaling from because of the time zone upgrades that you got.
Right.
But you need another person, and you need to stop being in the free world. You need to join some sort of community where people are actively doing deals. And you're young, so you don't have money. I get that. So maybe just go to one of the meetups that Subto, Astro, TTP, or the Iguanas are doing.
And less learning, more doing. You already know enough. You don't need to know anything else. You know way more than you need to know. In fact,
2 years of learning.
What you've done is you overcomplicated all of it. You've made it all way too complicated. If you have 5 quality conversations a day with agents or sellers, you will be doing deals in 30 days.
Yeah.
You'll have your first deal in 30 days.
Yeah, you're too smart. I need you to be dumber.
Yeah.
Be way dumber. For real.
Way dumber.
I need you to be way dumber. Not like unintelligent, just dumber. Just
like stupid
take
dumber.
massive imperfect action every single day. And the education's over. The education, nobody's going to pay you for what you know. They're going to pay you for what you do. So
The next cool
massive
thing,
imperfect action.
the next cool thing you learn is going to move the needle in your life, not like an ounce, right? But you get on the phone and you start talking to people, you're gonna see massive growth.
That's it.
Hey, Crown, Sharon McCabe says, I'm in Subto, New York. Reach out. Bro, you got gangsters in the side chat that are in our communities that are running and leading the industry. They're not just doing deals, they're leading the industry. And they're there to help you out, bro.
Sharon, do you have Instagram, Facebook? How do I reach out?
Go on Instagram.
Awesome.
Sharon, put your information in the side chat if you don't mind. Jasper, son, also, man. Jasper, will you DM Crown Banda, by the way, and find the episode where you did your first deal and made $9,000 on Sunday service. Please tell this man your story. This is a young kid, lives in Brooklyn. He has a toddy girlfriend. He needs to freaking get married to, but he's too busy doing wholesale deals, slinging deals. He did a $43,000 deal, I think this summer or last summer, I can't remember. It was a big juicy deal. Same age as you. Guess what he also has? A 9-to-5 job and a girlfriend.
Crown, make yourself a rule right now that for every hour of education you spend 10 hours on the phone. And you're not allowed to listen to another hour until you've done 10 hours of phones. Okay?
I would also challenge you above that. I would say, don't go learn anything until you have a problem to learn about.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Okay. And by the way, Jasper will help you out. He's really dumb. Okay.
Perfect. My
but like
Facebook
intentionally
is my
dumb.
full name. So
what's
if
your full
anyone
name?
wants to reach out to me, on Facebook it's Crown Banda, same name, and you can just reach out from there.
They're not going to reach out to people that are smart. You got to be dumb when you talk to them. Okay.
All right. Well,
dumbest people make the most money in this business.
That's very true.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.
Later.
Hey, guys, Wholesale Hotline. We are going to be doing a live meetup next Monday in the studio. Jerry Norton is actually going to be coming all the way from Kalispell, Montana. We're going to have a taco truck here in the parking lot. We're going to get a couple hundred people out here. You want to network? This is a great place to do it. And you guys should be doing a live watch party wherever you're at in the country, and just do meetups wherever you're at. Invite your friends, invite people. We will see you guys next week on Wholesale Hotline. We out.
Later.
See ya.
See ya. Or just say squat up.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
1, 2, 3.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
What are you doing?
I didn't say nothing.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
Cool. I think we should use the one where Jamil doesn't say anything.